everybody? It's your man, Fitman, and today's topic on Form Matters, we are going to investigate what constitutes proper form in one of the most underrated lower body builders, the Bulgarian split squat. Now, let's get into the 4 cues that will allow you to properly execute the Bulgarian split squat. Cue number 1, you must have balance. Now, one thing that many trainees and many lifters find out when they begin Bulgarian split squats is that, gee, I've got no balance. So what happens is that when they start the movement or try to start it and they bring their foot up, they're up here and they're wobbling and they're swaying and they're just blowing in the wind, all right? It doesn't look good and it's never going to allow you the ability to actually execute the movement. So if you are unable to maintain your balance, what you can actually do is use a power rack to stabilize yourself during the movement until you actually achieve balance. And when you achieve balance, this is what you're gonna do. You raise up that foot, and it's all about just staying tight, okay? If you're up here wobbling, then you're pretty loose, all right? You've got to make sure the core is tight, the upper back is tight, and the leg is tight so that you can stand here and not have to worry about falling over. Cue number 2, you want to lock your body in from the top down. Now, we went over locking the body in from the top down during the RDL video, all right? We have to get locked in from the top down so that we can actually perform the movement well. So, up top, we just can't descend down. We're not even locked in. What I like you to do is bring your shoulders back, lock it in, pow. Chest is up, pow. Legs are tight, core is tight, eyes are slightly forward. In this position, you'll be able to execute proper reps, okay? If I'm loose up top, when I start to descend, I'm gonna be waving all over the place, all right? We don't want that, so make sure everything is locked in from the top down before you begin the movement. Cue number 3, you want to properly position your front foot. Now, a mistake that many trainees and many lifters make is that their front foot is not positioned properly. So what you don't want to do is that if our front foot is too close to us, when we drop down into the movement, what's going to happen is that we're going to put too much pressure on our front knee. This is not going to feel good, and this is not an effective way to perform the Bulgarian split squat. Now, on the other hand, if our front foot is too far forward, and we try to lock in the movement here, when we drop down, we're putting a lot of pressure on our back knee and we're limiting our range of motion. If you add load to that, it's going to be a total disaster for your knee. So what you've got to do is find an ideal foot position for yourself that allows you to come straight down and stand straight up without excessively leaning forward or trying to arch your back to get into the position as you're rising. Cue number 4, what constitutes proper form in the Bulgarian split squat? What we're going to do is that we're going to achieve our balance, all right? So we're locked in, we can hold this position all day. Next, we have to lock our body in from the top down. Bring the shoulders back, chest is up, eyes are forward, legs are tight, core is tight. Now we're ready to descend into the movement. Back knee must contact the floor, then we stand up, pow. Drop it down again, back knee must contact the floor, and then stand up, pow. One more time, back knee must contact the floor, and then stand up, pow, okay? That is your basic Bulgarian split squat. Your back knee must contact the floor. It must give the floor a gentle kiss in order for the rep to count. What you don't want to do, and what I've seen too many times in my career, is when trainees line up and they want to, yeah, oh my quad, dog, oh my quad. Come on, man. Your quads aren't going to grow from that. You're going nowhere fast with reps like that. Make sure that you utilize a full range of motion in the Bulgarian split squat to truly maximize the benefits of the movement. Now, I've got one bonus cue, and that is how can you add load to the movement. Now, you have a variety of choices, a weighted vest, barbells, dumbbells. Today we're just gonna focus on what you can do with dumbbells to increase the difficulty of the Bulgarian split squat. So the first way, and the most common way, is to hold it just as you would during walking lunges, all right? A dumbbell at each side, and we're locked in. You're gonna drop down, contact the floor, stand up, pow. Drop down, contact the floor, stand up, pow. That's your most common way of performing the Bulgarian split squat with dumbbells. Now, if you're someone who is struggling with balance, you may be up top and you might be wobbling, and that's not gonna be good. So what you can actually do is hold the dumbbell just as you would in a goblet squat, all right? Follow all the same cues, drop down, contact the floor, stand up, pow. And drop down, contact the floor, stand up, pow. All right, so you've got two good options to add load and to add difficulty to your Bulgarian split squat. And what's really cool about this apparatus here is that it's adjustable. So if you're performing the Bulgarian split squat on the bench, you may be limited. The bench might be too tall or the bench might be too short. It may not work out well for you. But with the adjustable split squat stand, you can make adjustments based on where you need to be. If you're a little shorter, 5'4", 5'5", then having that beam all the way up isn't gonna be good for you because you're not gonna be able to reach the floor. And if that's the case, then guess what? You bend over, and all you need to do is adjust it down to where you need it to be. The adjustable split squat stand, you can find it on Amazon.com. This is gonna be the best apparatus that you can use to maximize your Bulgarian split squat. Implement these cues into your Bulgarian split squat today, and I promise you that now you will be able to maximize on the gains in strength and the gains in muscle that you can receive from the movement. Look, single leg exercises and single leg movements are a very underrated and underutilized part of the iron game. In order to truly unleash the inner greatness that lies within your lower body, you must begin to perform single leg exercises like the Bulgarian split squat with regularity. It's your man, Fitman. Holla at a trainer when you see me at the center.